Big Daddy, the man, the myth, the motherfucking legend, the triggerer of cucks, the breaker of cults, the ender of bloodlines. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, beneath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, without listening, writing songs that the voices never shared. No one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, as I said, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I may teach you. Take my arms that I may reach you. Spread the words that the Father always says till you're dead. And hear the sound of silence. And hear the sound of silence. The sound of silence. And touch the sound of silence. I said, fools, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Welcome to the show. All right. Big Daddy Show, baby. What are we going to talk about tonight? For those unfamiliar with the show, I am Big Daddy. I'm one man. I rip the mic. Talk about everything and nothing all at once. There is no subject taboo or off the table. Simon Garfunkel warned us about CG, yes, amongst other things. Yeah, speaking of CG, it looks like a lot of people are just now figuring out Liam, so to speak. Yeah, a lot of us have known for years who and what Liam was. And it's funny seeing people just now figuring it out. Like, oh my God, I think Liam's full of shit. Like, no, really? You actually think that he invented all of your favorite IP from the 80s? Ninja Turtles, He-Man, Transformers? Yeah, I hear he also was published with Scholastic. He created Slimed. He's been praised by Akira Toriyama and all of the top mangakas in the world. Yeah, most of us that know Liam, whenever he says something like that, like he's, I've been praised by all of the top mangakas in the world, mate, including Akira Toriyama. I mean, most of us know just to completely disregard that as complete bullshit, because this is Liam. Anything that comes out of his mouth about 99% of the time is going to be bullshit. Yeah, but seeing a lot of these guys just now figuring it out is pretty funny. Like that whole CG Church crew, they fucking figuring out who and what Liam is. Yeah, I think Mr. Dongs did a real good meme once. It was about John De La Rose, but it also applies to Liam. And I think the meme goes like this: JDA gets into a beef with somebody and decides to declare a gay crusade against them. And then he tries to get other people to join in on his gay crusade. And then in step two, people eventually get tired of his bullshit and tell him to fuck off. Step three, JDA declares people who told him to fuck off said enemy, and then declares a gay crusade against them and tries to get people to join in on a gay crusade. And basically, it's just a never ending cycle. It's always just a circle. And it's the same thing with Liam. Liam declares person X, Y, or Z his enemy, begins a gay crusade against them. And unless you're on Liam's side and join in on his gay crusade, well, guess what? He is also going to see you as an enemy. And then he's going to engage in a gay crusade against you. And it's a never-ending cycle. I think it's because he's a ginger. They get off on that friction, if you know what I mean. Have you ever met a ginger that was just peaceful, that didn't always want to fight and start shit? It's in the blood. Yeah, they got that bloodline, something in that bloodline that causes that kind of behavior. I'm telling you. Yeah, you look at the post or the pre-flood era, the antediluvian era. You hear about all of these tales of these cave giants, these red-headed cave giants with pale skin that survived the flood. Sometimes they find them entombed in various crypts and whatnot around the world. I guess over in China they found one, this big old underground crypt full of tall, white-skinned, red-headed giants, all entombed underground. And the Chinese, I guess they just buried it, threw a bunch of dirt on top of it, tried to pretend it doesn't exist. Because in the minds of China, the Chinese people are the number one people, the most superior people on the planet. And to have those things be around, well, then that will challenge the narrative. Yeah, I guess there's all sorts of pyramids in China, but the government covers them up. Yeah, there was an entirely different world before that flood. And I think the modern day ginger, they share the blood of those antediluvian giants, the ones that we might call Nephilim or Rephaim. Those basically they're creatures that are not pure. You had the native human that was here already. Then you had some beings from the sky come. And then they mated with the humans, and then they created what was called the Nephilim. Then the Nephilim mated with other humans, and they created what was called Rephaim, and so on and so forth, and the bloodlines would get watered down. Then you got the modern day ginger, these little tyrants that run around. Lord only knows how bad they were back in the day. Yeah, the times they are changing for sure. They say we may be heading for another cataclysm here. That's what a lot of whistleblowers are saying. Yeah, we'll see. Whether it's natural or man-made, that will be the real question. Whether we have a natural one or not, we're actually having a man-made one. Man-made population collapse. Yeah, the entire third world is dying out. Nobody's having families anymore. No, but the third world, oh, they're still breeding. Yeah, white people, I think over 100 years ago, something like that, they were like 36% of the Earth's population. Now they're only like 8% of the Earth's population. Yeah, kill Whitey. Kill Whitey. Yeah, that old Chris Farley movie, Tommy Boy. After he smoked the spliff with the Rastafarians, then he gets on stage, and then he fucking trundles around, and he grabs the microphone, and he says, "Kill Whitey!" And the crowd's like, everybody stops, like, no, oh no, you're not supposed to say that. Nowadays, the same fucking shit happened, it would be met with raucous applause. Yeah, people, they don't like Whitey anymore. Decade upon decade of social engineering, ingraining that shit into people's minds. that white people are the bad ones. That's what fucking did it. Whitey bad. But is Whitey so bad? I mean, you look at all of the great accomplishments of the world, almost all of them are accomplished by white people. Yeah, I think the world would be a little colder, a little darker place without white people around. Yeah, in my own country here in America, it feels like there's this omniscient, omnipresent force that has its jackboots on the back of your throat, knowing that society, culture, your own country, they don't just want to see you homeless. They don't just want to see you dead. They want to see your entire fucking bloodline expunged from this fucking planet. To know that and have to fucking live with that every waking moment of every day, it can do something to a person psychologically. I think I think I need to look for an exit strategy. I've talked about this before. My exit strategy is to eventually leave the country, never return, move over to Southeast Asia, one of those countries that hasn't been ravaged by feminism as badly yet. Yeah, any culture in which the women are exposed to social media, they're eventually gonna fucking fall prey to that mind virus, though. Yeah, I've already got some more neighbors moving in too. I talked about this before, how I had neighbors move in and their dogs were coming over fucking with my dog until my dog finally laid down the law and asserted his dominance. Well, here a few days ago, I heard this huge growl off, and I went and shined the light out, and it looked like both of the neighbor dogs that came around, but they had run off. My dog had drove away both of them. Yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah. Anyway, I got new neighbors moved in too now across the way, so I got fucking two different sets of neighbors. And these other ones, they like to play music real loud. I don't care too badly because I'm pretty loud myself. But yeah, the times they are a changing indeed. Before too long, my whole valley is going to be populated with people. It ain't going to be like how it was, where I can just basically throw on my boots and nothing else and just walk around my property naked and not have to worry about somebody seeing me. No, it ain't that way anymore. I mean, well, I guess I could still technically do it. Somebody would have to be out with binoculars trying to fucking spot me out to actually see it. Yeah, the weather ain't been really too good lately though. Been a lot of fucking rainstorms. Well, it is the monsoon season, I guess. Good for my plants. My plants are loving it. It's probably one of the best seasons I've ever had as far as growing goes. Yeah, the bottom line is I need to start thinking of an exit strategy. My own fucking country. They don't want to just see me homeless. They don't just want to see me dead. They want to see my fucking bloodline expunged. And I ain't going to fucking go quietly into the night. Yeah, just like the old timey spirit of America before me, and before that, the old timey spirit of the hardy European that traveled across the seas and conquered America. So too do I feel that spirit within me to travel across the seas and try to conquer a nation, plant my seeds, sow my royal oats, so to speak. That's what's going to happen. At some point, some other country, like all of the best, hardiest Americans, are going to leave America and go emigrate to another country, and that country is going to become the new America. Because that's basically what happened with America. All of the best, hardiest Europeans left Europe and they became Americans. But now America has become too weak, too decadent. They've turned on the fucking men that created and built the country. And those same men, they're going to end up fleeing at some point. This is what happens when you turn your fucking country into a goddamned matriarchy. They say we live in a patriarchy. No, no, this is a fucking matriarchy. Kirk's walking around on his land naked right now. Yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah, once you do it a little bit, you feel a very, very liberating feeling. Yeah, the fucking Somalis over there in Minnesota. I hear Nick Rekieta was the one that helped facilitate all that. Wonder what Ethan has to say about that. His friend Nick Rekieta helping Somalis take over Minnesota. Yeah, there needs to be something done about these women out there. I know that. The black women, the women in HR, all the feminists. Well, that ain't gonna be my problem. At some point, like I said, I'm gonna fucking flee. When I do, I'll find. Well, I need to get a game plan first, like get some sort of like real monthly income flowing. And I'm thinking maybe renting out my place, let people come pull their trailers here and then pay like a monthly fee or something. Maybe even rent out my own place and just that way I'm collecting some sort of a passive monthly income. Because you go to one of those Southeast Asian countries where the dollar goes a long way, you can live very, very comfortably on a very modest sum every month. A lot better than you can in America, let's put it that way, or any of those Western nations. Like as bad as America it is, it's 1,000 times better than Canada or the UK or Australia. Yeah, fuck. It could be worse. We could be one of those fucking countries. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's getting worse out there. Even though Trump is president, there's still censorship all over the place. I probably lost my Twitter account. Yeah, I fucking made a tweet. Well, I responded to somebody. Somebody had made the hypothetical. If Trump was to run for a third term, would you support him? I was going to let it go and let it pass, scroll again. But I was like, no, I'm going to answer this one. So I answer only if Fauci and Gates are publicly executed. That's what I did. As soon as I pressed send, boom, it took me to a whole different screen and told me that I was locked out and my account was going to be down for 7 days for inciting violence. I'm like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like you go and look at Vito's fucking Twitter account. He's literally calling upon the homeless to be executed. So it's okay for the homeless to be executed, but not to two of the most renowned mass murderers in human history, really? That just goes to show. This is not about inciting violence. No, this is about who you're inciting violence against. Boy, Elon, he needs to fix that shit. I fucking challenged it too. I don't know how long the appeal is going to take, but I may lose my account. I'm telling you, because one time I had told Mr. Beast to go kill himself, and they fucking locked me out for 12 hours. And at the end of the 12 hours of keeping me locked out or whatever, they decided, you know what? Fuck you. That's not good enough. We're just going to fucking terminate your account. So they just decided to terminate my account. And that was only after locking me out for 12 hours. This one, they've locked me out for 7 days, a full week, just for answering a hypothetical. Do you think Trump deserves a third term? Would you support him? Only if Fauci and Bill Gates are publicly executed. And that's the truth. I mean, I would support a third Trump term. Like he could do anything else, not even release the Epstein files. But if you fucking publicly execute Fauci and Bill Gates, yeah, I'll support you. Fuck. Think about that. Two of the greatest mass murders in human history. Two motherfuckers that make Adolf Hitler look like a fucking Boy Scout. You can't even call upon justice for them in a hypothetical manner. This is how fucking locked down the goddamn algorithms are. Yeah, speaking of Bill Gates, Trump just had fucking dinner with this motherfucker. Invited to the fucking White House. Not just Bill Gates, but Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, the head of Google. I mean, literally, it was like a who's who of Bond villains is who it was. Most of them were instrumental in stealing that fucking, well, and they fucking deboed that shit from Trump in 2020. It's all been proven. But he allowed them into the fucking White House, whining and dining them. I guess Bill Gates told him that he's going to cure a lot of these infectious diseases. Like, really? Then Trump's talking about how great all of these jabs are. Well, yeah, they stopped the polio. And it turns out the number one cause of polio are jabs created by none other than Bill Gates himself. He's going to help with the food supply, too. Like, really? How? Well, he owns up all the farmland, but it's not like he's going to have cows there. And no, he's going to feed us synthetic meat. Like, where's the synthetic meat coming from? How are you making this exactly? And then you find out the synthetic meat is actually made from the tumor of a fat black woman from the 1970s. Yeah, it turns out these tumors, they self-replicate the cells. So that's what the fake meat is. It's cancerous tumor from a fat black woman from the 1970s, synthesized in the food form. Jesus Christ. In the future, everything is a fat black woman. Should have known. Should have fucking known. Yeah, Bill Gates, he had a lot of things to say. Yeah, I also heard something interesting Bill Gates once said about the next pandemic. It's coming. Oh, yeah, the pandemic. There's going to be another one. It's going to happen. But you want to know what he says has to happen first? Things have to cool down first because of these conspiracy theorists. Yeah, once the conspiracy theorists thing cool down with them, because we've been calling that shit out. Yeah. Believe it or not, conspiracy theorists are single-handedly stopping and holding back the next pandemic. We really are. According to Bill Gates himself. And Bill Gates doesn't come out and just fucking lie about shit. He always tells you exactly what he's going to do, and then he fucking does it. Way back in the day, his foundation used to be called the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for Population Control. Then they dropped the population control part. And you see people pulling up newspaper clippings from way back in the day. Bill Gates talking about how he's going to use the jabs to fucking control the population. Then you hear about how he's been banned in several different countries. Yeah, this guy, he makes James Bond villains look like Sesame Street characters. He really fucking does. For the simple fact that Bill Gates is alive right now, it just flaunts it in our face just how fucking evil and powerful they really are. I mean, that's true power right there. That's true evil. To have murdered that many people, so many millions of people, made so many people sick, sterilized so many females, and to still be able to just walk around free and get wined and dined at the fucking White House. It's kind of staggering. It really is. And all of these fucking MAGA-tards, these Trumpists, these cultists, making excuses for Trump. Oh, keep your enemies or friends close, but your enemies closer. Right? That's what I hear. I'm like, okay. Now, succinctly explain this logic behind keeping your enemies closer, quote unquote, rather than just simply having them rounded up and publicly executed. Like you fucking should. Explain the logic to that. Nobody can explain the logic. I mean, do we need to have an investigation to figure out if Bill Gates and Fauci are mass murderers? No. It's kind of right out there in the open. To not know at this point in the game is willful ignorance. Let's put it that way. Yeah, the conspiracy theorists single-handedly holding back the next pandemic. Oh, fucking real. Yeah, that pandemic, thinking back on it now, it pisses me off so badly. Because I knew exactly what they were going to do. Because Bill Gates himself told us. Event 201, anybody remember that one? They basically war-gamed the whole fucking thing several months before they did it. Then you had all of these fucking nurses and doctors doing TikTok dances and shit. There needs to be military tribunals for the fucking dancing TikTok nurses. Yes. Execute them all publicly. Public executions for the whole fucking lot. Oh, fucking real. All of those guillotines that they had built way back during the Obama administration, we need to dust those fuckers off, bring them out for the TikTok nurses. That's what I say. Some true fucking mob justice. Yeah, anybody who knew nurses or doctors or anybody in the medical field, they all have the same fucking story too. Hell, my buddy, his wife worked at one of those fucking hospitals, and she had the same story too. When the pandemic happened, there was nobody, I mean nobody at those fucking hospitals. They were a fucking ghost town. Anybody that came there, they got turned away. And what they did instead, they coordinated their TikTok dances. The dancing TikTok nurses. Yeah, death for them all. Dancing, laughing at us, putting us through a fucking humiliation ritual. And anybody that was actually sick that went to those fucking hospitals, you want to know what they did? They hooked them up to those fucking ventilators and they pumped up their fucking lungs and fucking killed them, murdered them. Or they made them take remdesivir, or as they call run death is near. Had an 80% mortality rate. By simple virtue of me just saying that, I probably got the fucking stream struck just now. I just realized, fuck. Never mind. We're all joking here. It's all jokes. Like, no matter how you try to veil it, sometimes that algorithm, it'll fucking get you. Yeah, I've been struck like fucking shit 20-something times. Most of them were talking about the jab. And I just possibly lost my fucking Twitter account talking about that shit too. Yeah, I'm a censored man. That's for sure. The unfortunate part about all of this is we cannot vote our way out of this. There is no voting our way out of this. We put Trump into power. He was supposed to take care of this shit. But he's proven that he is nothing more than a politician, just like the rest of them. Ain't no difference between Donald Trump and one of the Bushes, John McCain, Mitt Romney. They're all the fucking same. You ain't gonna get no difference from somebody like Donald Trump. Doesn't matter who you fucking vote for. We cannot vote our way out of this. The founding fathers did put something in the Constitution, though, the last safeguard against tyranny, the Second Amendment. We're about at that fucking point. When you get to the point where you can no longer vote your way out of it, then you have to exercise the last safeguard against tyranny. The only problem is the tyrants are the ones that control the police and the military. And the police and the military have proven in the past that if that order is given, unfortunately, they will follow that order. So you have to be real fucking sly about it. Like, you'd almost have to use a flash mob tactic. Like how a flash mob is, they coordinate behind the scenes to all like come to one place at once. You'd have to have a massive flash mob of armed citizens storm the Capitol at once. Flash mob the Capitol. Do like what they did at January 6th, except this time everybody actually has guns. And then there's nothing they could do because you hit them too quickly. They didn't have time to set up any defenses or anything like that. They didn't have time to have the National Guard there or whatever. So you flash mob the Capitol, and then you line them all up and firing squads for them all. Fucking firing squads, mate. Yes. Firing squads for them all. And then you blow it all up. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. Burn it to the fucking ground. And then you hold free and fair elections again afterwards. Because that will, after that, it will set a fucking precedence, an example to the people. Hey, better not fuck up, or else a goddamn mob might come and fucking execute you all. Yeah, that would be one scenario. The only problem behind that scenario is most gun owning Americans are chill. They're pretty fucking chill. And they're not going to fucking do something like that. That's the problem. Most gun owning Americans are just too damn chill. Fucking flash mob the Capitol. A much more higher likelihood is what I call scenario Strangelove. Yeah, Dr. Strangelove. Anybody remember that movie where the rogue general decided to use the military against the Russians in his own little private war? Same scenario, except instead of the rogue general attacking the Russians, he attacks the deep state instead. Rogue general using the military to take down the deep state. That would be a much more likely scenario. Much more likely to succeed as well. Yeah, the only trouble is most of these fucking generals they've all put in there have all been compromised. Yeah, it's the same thing in politics. Like they compromise the guys in power. So too do they do it in the military. Yeah, a lot of these high-level military officers are actually high-level Satanists too. Just look at the tale of Michael Aquino. See what that one's all about. The Presidio scandal. Yeah, Satanism and the military goes hand in hand at the highest levels. It really does. Scenario Strangelove. Probably never going to happen either. The more higher likelihood is they're just going to keep us at this slow burn. It's all about extracting as much pain and suffering out of the collective soul of humanity as humanly possible. And if anybody tries to step in, well, then forces behind the scenes will intervene. Dark forces. Something dark, deep and dark, behind the scenes controlling the planet. All you got to do is look at what's going on in Germany. There is a certain party, a right-wing party, that's all about reform, kick out the immigrants. Let's go back to our strong nationalist roots. One of those types of parties. Last time I checked, I think they've had almost a dozen of their fucking political candidates all die just within the last week, just dying one after another, all under extremely mysterious circumstances. Yeah, they're being assassinated. That's what's happening. They're being fucking assassinated. And there's not going to be a goddamn thing that happens, too, because it's the German government that is doing it. Like, what are you going to have to do? The government do it? Investigate itself? You'll just have a Thomas Crooks like scenario. That's one of the things that really bothered me about Trump. Like, it's obvious that Thomas Crooks was like a deep state proxy. He was working hand in hand with the FBI. And what happened? Oh, they got in there and they said, oh, it's what they washed their fucking hands. I think Dan Bongino said that, yeah, he was just a lone gunman, nothing to see here. Like, really? Like, if I was Trump, I would have been pissed off. Like, no. This guy is obviously a fucking deep state proxy. I want to fucking find out the truth of this. Who was his FBI handler? Who was he fucking talking to in the FBI? We don't know none of that. No, he's just a lone gunman. Yeah, and Trump didn't even care. Like, the guy that tried to fucking murder him, like, he just let that shit go. Like, oh, well, I guess he's just a lone gunman. That's what they said. Like, really? I mean, that just goes to show how blissfully just, I mean, he's like Mr. Bean. He really is. Just kind of stumbles and bumbles through life, just dodging bullets, happenstance. That was an angel that saved him, a guardian angel. No, he's autistic. He likes to bob his head around all the time. He just got fucking lucky is all. It should have blew his fucking head off. But he's fucking autistically lucky. He just stumbles and bumbles through life. Sometimes he makes the right decision, but most of the time he doesn't. But at the end of the day, he's just a stupid fucking clown. Like I said, he's like the political Mr. Bean. Yeah, we might have some sort of a war with the Middle East country. Iran, possibly. I think they're the last one on the hit list. I know Israel wants us to go to war with Iran. But you know who we should go to war with? The UK, Germany, Canada, Australia, those fucking countries. If any fucking country needed a quote unquote regime change, it's those fucking countries right there. In Germany, they're assassinating their politicians. In the UK, they're allowing their young girls to get raped by Pakistani migrants. And then they're blaming the girls. Yeah, if there was any fucking countries that needed military intervention, it's all those fucking countries. India is taking over Canada via immigration. Australia is so fucking cucked. I mean, it's basically like California on steroids. That's how fucked Australia is. Yeah, if any fucking countries need military intervention, it's those fucking countries. Those Western countries. I know, we'll go bomb the shit out of some more brown people, though. Yeah, I talked last show about the young Scottish girl that branded the weapons and saved her sister from getting beaten and raped by some migrant. And what happened was like the entire UK media establishment like turned against the girl, tried to smear her, did all of these fluff pieces about the migrant, saying how he was just this married dude walking with his wife and now he has a baby. And turns out it was all bullshit. It was all bullshit. You hear the real story. When you hear the real story, it's actually way, way worse than what we thought. And the girl that brandished the weapons, she was actually far more heroic than we first thought. Yeah, but apparently those migrants, they've been attacking and harassing girls in that area for a long time. So that's why that girl had the weapons on her. They're walking past this guy and he tried to hit on the young girls and they told him to go fuck off. And he followed them. And then the guy's sister flew in out of nowhere and attacked the girl's sister. Then the guy went in there and started stomping her on the head. And they had to take the girl to the hospital. I guess she suffered a concussion. And the only reason they stopped beating her is because her sister intervened, pulled out the weapons, and told them to back off. Boy, that's a fucking lesson right there in the importance of life-saving weaponry. Whether it's a gun, a knife. In the case of life-saving weaponry, it's best to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Had Lola not had those fucking weapons and not been able to intervene and save her sister, they might have beat her to death. That poor girl might have been killed. They might have fucking beat her unconscious, then drug her off and raped her. Who the fuck knows what would have happened? Whatever would have happened, it would have been way, way worse than what did happen because she was able to stop them. But she was vilified. She was branded the bad guy in the whole thing. That just goes to show how far the UK has fallen. And the girl's friend that told the story felt that she had to distance herself from her friend, the one that had the weapons or whatever, kind of threw her under the bus a little bit. Boy, that just goes to show how fucked in the head those girls are. It's like Stockholm syndrome. They've been living in this woke leftist hellscape for so fucking long that it's fucked with their minds to where they think that the fucking hero is the bad guy. Like, Jesus Christ. Lola should have a goddamn statue erected in that fucking park. That's what should happen. No, but she's branded the bad guy in the whole fucking thing. Yeah, the UK media is so fucked. Turns out the guy, it was all bullshit. He wasn't married. He didn't have a baby or nothing. They were trying to like build a story up around him. And they never even bothered interviewing the girls or nothing. The girls were painted as the victims. Yeah, as bad as we got it in America, it could be 1,000 times worse. We could be like those fuckers over there. Although we do have a lot of stupid shit that happens over here. Yeah, I heard some Ukrainian migrant, a female, beautiful female migrant from the Ukraine, a blonde. She got stabbed to death here on the fucking bus recently by a fucking black guy, a multiple felon, and a couple of his felonies included assaulting women. Yeah, the judge is like, we'll just let him out though. We'll evaluate him. Yeah, I guarantee if that was a white guy, he would have already been behind bars probably about the third fucking crime. Still behind bars. 3 strikes, you're out, bitch. Unless you're a certain shade of brown. Yeah, it's all about those shades of brown. The times they are a-changing, and the chimes of freedom are a-flashing. You know what, guys? I'm going to take a break. I got to go feed my chickens. It's about that time. We're going to do a little musical interlude, and we're going to come back and rip the mic a little bit more. Far between sundown's finish and midnight's broken toll, ducked inside the doorway's thunder went crashing. Its majestic bellows of bolts struck shadows in the sounds, seeming to be chimes of freedom flashing. Flashing for the warriors, strength is not to fight. Flashing for the refugees, the unarmed road of light. And for each and every underdog soldier in the night, he gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. City's melted furnace, unexpectedly we watched, faces hidden as the walls were tightening, as the echo of the wedding bells before the blowing rain dissolved into the bells of the lightning, tolling for the rebel, tolling for the rake, tolling for the luckless, the abandoned and forsake, tolling for the outcast, burning constantly at stake, as we gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing, flashing for the warriors, strength is not to fight. Flashing for the refugees, down on the road of light. For each and every underdog soldier in the night, we gazed upon chimes of freedom flashing. Gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon be drenched to the bone. Your time to you is worth saving. Better start swimming or you sink like a stone. Times they are a-changing. Writers and critics prophesize with your pen. Keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. There's no telling who that it's naming, for the lures that now will be later to win. For the times they are a-changing. The mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Just get out of a new one if you can't lend your hand. Times they are a-changing. Line it is drawn, the curtain it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading. The first one now will later be last. Times they are a-changing. Changing for the warrior, whose strength is not to fight. Changing for the refugee on the unarmed road of flight. For each and every underdog soldier in the night. For the times they are a-changing. Times they are a-changing. Crushing. Crushing a Miss White, dancing with the devil in the dark. Daddy never take no crap. Daddy with the big dick slap. Daddy with the best in life. Crushing a Miss Bride, dancing with the devil in the day, like the day and night. Telling me now what is place tonight. Crushing a Miss Bride, leave my soul of pain. Crushing a Miss Bride, dancing with the devil in the rain. My mind, my mind. Crushing a Miss White, feeling my soul a spark. Crushing a Miss White, dancing with the devil in the dark. Daddy never take no crap. Daddy with the big dick slap. Daddy with a pimp slap hand. Daddy be a backdoor man. Yo, what is best in life? Crush your enemies. What is best in life? Crush your enemies. Crush your enemies. Lamentation of that women. Feminism is a sin. Lamentation of that women. All right, welcome back. A little break there. Where are we going to take the show now? I kind of ran out of topics to talk about. Come full circle, we talked a little bit about Comicsgate in the beginning. Little Liam Gray talk. Yeah, people just now starting to realize Liam's a lolcow. He's full of shit most of the time. He shouldn't take anything he says really seriously. But a lot of people are just now starting to figure that out. And like, oh my God, having the fucking realization. Yeah, I saw the CG Church people. They were doing a thing about Liam, and boy, they had almost 100 viewers in there listening to that shit. I mean, if one thing Liam will do is he'll get views. I remember back in the day when JDA used to EFAP him, he'd get a lot of views too. I mean, this entire cottage industry of people doing Liam EFAPs. It was JDA back in the day, and there was the Lassie Affair, Randall and the Trash Compactor crew and all them. It was an entire cottage industry of people doing the Liam EFAP stuff. Risey, now the CG Church people doing it. Like, literally, it's an endless cycle of content. You could literally get endless content out of Liam. Yeah, he's that level of lolcow. Yeah, one of my favorite things about this new version of Liam is how he's completely reinvented himself as this new, like, savant artist. That's basically like the second coming of Frank Frazetta. Like, anybody who's familiar with the old Liam lore, like from years ago, knows that Liam used to talk about how he wanted to get into comic books and be an artist, but he just wasn't quite good enough. It just wasn't good enough, and I was never going to be good enough. But then my mentor, J.D. Matisse, told me that maybe I should just become a writer instead. So then I started writing. That was Liam's old backstory. He wasn't good enough at art, so he had to become a writer. But now when Liam decided to reinvent himself for new CG, all of a sudden like that, he's this fucking savant, the second coming of Frank Frazetta. Look at how great of an artist I am, mate. I drew all of Dino King using a mouse pad. Really? Really, motherfucker? Yeah, he's pulled the wool over a lot of people's eyes. A lot of people out there actually believe Liam actually is drawing all of his pictures. He's not using a light box. He's not tracing. He's not paying some studio out of Malaysia or some dude on Fiverr from South America and then just claiming credit for his work after having him sign an NDA. It's all tied up in NDAs, mate. It's all about them NDAs. Yeah, the bottom line is most of us learned years ago never to take anything Liam says seriously, because not only is he full of shit, I mean, he's full of shit to a certain level to where it could be clinically classified as mental illness. It really can be. Mythomania. When you believe in a story and you actually believe that shit is reality, even though you've made it up in your mind. Like, in Liam's mind, he probably does believe that Akira Toriyama and all of these other mangakas actually did give him this personal praise about his comic and say how great he was and talk about how he won the fucking Tezuka Award and all that shit. These stupid people will believe that shit. But let me tell you something. I'm not fucking stupid. I remember way back in the day, because I looked into entering in the Tezuka Award myself, and I had planned on doing it the following year. The only problem is that the year that Liam did it, that was technically the last year they did the official Tezuka Award. And the reason they did it that way is because there were so many entrants didn't follow the rules. What they did was they tried to submit series that they were doing rather than one-shots, including Liam himself. In fact, I believe that was one of the criticisms that he had got from one of these mangakas, that rather than doing a one-shot, he tried to do a continued series. Yeah, that was the truth about all that. Liam didn't actually win the fucking Tezuka Award. No, I remember, because I was following that shit. It was some rando from South America with a real random-looking fucking comic that ended up winning. Yeah, so instead of doing the Tezuka Award, like a yearly thing, what they did instead was they converted the entire website into a Manga Plus Creators, and they do the Tezuka Award basically every month. I actually entered into it, I guess you could say, with my comic. I technically finished 64th place. It would have done a lot better had it been a one-shot and I released it at the very beginning of the month, because that's when they tally the votes, at the beginning to the end. But I didn't release it till almost a week into the month. So I missed out on almost a week's worth of votes. And a one-shot will always get more views than an ongoing series anyway. And my shit was going to be too many pages. Like, if you're going to do a one-shot, it's got to be capped at about 100 pages, but my shit was too long, so I couldn't do the one-shot like I wanted. But yeah, they still do that shit, the Tezuka Award, and if you win the monthly award, they put you in the Shonen Jump, it's the app version. Like, over there, they're completely converting it over to app form. Like, nobody barely ever uses, like, paper format anymore as far as reading manga. It's starting to become an archaic form of consuming media. Yeah, as the years go on, digital is only becoming more popular. Yeah, Liam never got published. Odie got published, though. That's one part of the story that didn't get told. At the end of the day, Odie did get published, but it had nothing to do with Liam, no. It was once Odie cut himself loose from Liam and started doing his own thing, that's when he got fucking picked up and published by Dark Horse. Yeah, this is all true. This is all part of the lore that surrounds Liam. His old artist, Odie, when he finally cut himself loose from Liam and did his own thing, it was good enough to get picked up for mainstream publication. Yeah, that's one aspect of that whole story, of that sphere, that barely nobody ever talks about. How one fucking dude did rise up out of the muck and fucking made it. And it was Odie. He rose up out of the fucking mud and he made himself something. And he got fucking published in the mainstream, Dark Horse Comics. Liam can't say the same. Unless it's in his fantasy world where he published Slimed and he's published through Scholastic and all that shit. Yeah, he is the metaphorical Walter Mitty of his time. People are just now learning it. Yeah, I think Liam might have bit off more than he can chew when he decided to take on Anna, though. Because this could be the thing right here. Like the water that freezes and splits the great rock, so too will this schism between Liam and Anna split and fracture CG, whatever's left of it. Yeah, it's going to cause a civil war is what it's going to do. It's going to be the pro-Anna faction versus the pro-Liam faction. And we all saw what happened the last time this type of shit happened. Anna came out on top. Yeah, remember the war campaign tried to go against her? Well, Cecil and John Malin, that whole faction too. But Ethan was forced to choose between War Campaign or Cisa, Anna, and Malin. And Ethan chose the latter. If Ethan is forced to choose between Liam and Anna, guess what? Ethan is going to choose Anna. For one reason and one reason only. Anna has more clout. Yep, that's how it goes in that world. Whoever has the most clout, doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. You're going to be the one that they're going to side with. Yeah, Liam, he might have fucked up trying to fight or start a war with Anna. He might have bitten off more than he can chew. And he's also trying to start a war with Katey, right at the same time. Starting a war with both Anna and Katey. Boy, that's like Hitler. Like embroiled in a world war, then all of a sudden you decide to fight the Soviet Union too. Now you got a fucking war on both fronts. There's only so many females in Comicsgate. And you basically turn the top females against you. Yeah, this is not going to end well for Liam. At some point, when Ethan realizes the tides are turning, he's going to throw Liam under the bus. It's going to happen at some fucking point. And Liam's going to be like, oh no, I knew it was going to happen. They told me. I didn't want to believe it, but it happened. And then you want to know what this is ultimately going to culminate in? Liam trying to quote-unquote yeet himself again. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, there's going to be another fake yeeting. Just like how we had the fake swattings, there's going to be another fake yeeting, mate. Oh no, I feel like I'm going to kill myself. And he's going to do a selfie of him in front of the mental hospital or something like that. And because some people will ask for evidence, show receipts, motherfucker. So he'll drive out to a mental hospital and film himself in the front. Look here, guys, I'm here. I'm gonna kill myself. Yeah, that's what's gonna ultimately happen. When Ethan inevitably turns on Liam, it's gonna ultimately end up in a quote unquote another yeeting, just like it last time. Remember? Now, remember when Liam quote unquote tried to yeet himself last time? Was there any sort of evidence that he actually did try to do that? Did we see a screenshot of like a hospital bill? So the screenshot of him inside the hospital. Like, how did he do it exactly? Did he take a mouthful of pills? Did he try to open his wrists? Like, how did Liam try to quote unquote yeet himself last time? There was no evidence provided. I think everybody just went on his word. Oh no, Liam said he quote unquote tried to yeet himself. So yeah, people are going to demand receipts this next time around. If Liam tries to do another fake yeeting, people are going to demand receipts. Let's put it that way. Yeah, you lie so many times, and then people don't trust a fucking word you say, and then you have to show proof every fucking time. And it's to that point with Liam. You can't trust a single fucking word he says. You got to see evidence every time. At this point, yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm rarely ever wrong about this shit. I'm not. When the tides finally turn and Ethan inevitably turns on Liam again, is going to ultimately result in another quote unquote fake yeeting. But think about this for a second. What if Liam actually did try to yeet himself the first time around? Literally, you are just starting your life with a new family. You've just had a new child. Like, you're really going to leave your child an orphan without a father in this world to be raised by a single mother? All over internet bullies? What kind of a fucking man are you? What kind of a fucking man would do that to his daughter, to his family? That just goes to show what level of fucking man Liam is, if he actually did try to quote unquote yeet himself the first time around. And it's all emotional blackmail anyway. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up when people do that kind of shit. Emotional blackmail, try to hold their lives hostage. Oh no, you better not do this. I'm gonna yeet myself. And what can you do? Yeah, that's what we talked about at the beginning of the show, some Liam talk. Talked a little conspiracy related stuff. Some good coffee right here. Sipping coffee, hanging out. Yeah, I talked about how it seems that life is designed to extract as much pain and suffering out of the humans as humanly possible. I think there may be something to that. Extracting our spiritual energies. They like the negative ones, so life is all designed a certain way. Yeah, one thing I like to do is look at the various works of remote viewers and see what their findings are on various esoteric topics and whatnot, paranormal, conspiracy related, ancient history, evolution of humanity, where we came from, Bigfoot, aliens, Dogman, that kind of shit. I like to see what the remote viewers look at when they look at that kind of shit. Yeah, a remote viewer is like a military trained psychic. The CIA used to fund that shit way back in the day. Now they outsource it to civilian agencies. So what I like to do is take a look at all of these different remote viewing groups and all of the various things that they look at, and then match them up to see if they all come up with the same data. And more often than not, all of the data comes back the same. And these remote viewing groups, they always do it to where it's a blind target, and they have multiple viewers looking at the target, at least 3 or 4. So they don't know exactly what they're looking at. They're looking at an 8-digit number, and this 8-digit number is associated with the target. Like the 8-digit number will be written down on inside of an envelope, and then it'll have like a picture of the dark side of the moon in there. So when they look at the number, it's associated with that picture. So they don't know exactly what they're looking at. So when they look, they're like, okay, dark side of the moon, and they find bases there or whatever. And when all 3 of the remote viewers come away with, hey, there are bases on the dark side of the moon, and so, okay, we can probably write that shit in stone. There are bases on the dark side of the moon. And when multiple remote viewers across multiple different autonomous groups all come back with the same fucking data, then you could pretty much write that shit in stone, that that shit is actually going on. And one disturbing data point that I've come across that all of these remote viewing groups all come away with is the concept of the soul trap. That the moon is actually an artificial construct, a reptilian base, and it's used to keep our souls trapped on Earth, to where they're continuously harvesting our spiritual energies in an endless cycle. And it's basically a prison planet. Like, they all come away with the same fucking data. This is a prison planet, and where souls are being harvested here. This is our whole reason for existence, to live on this planet as humans and suffer in as much pain and misery as possible, because that's the fucking energy that they're harvesting from us. It's all the same data points across multiple fucking remote viewing groups. So when that happens, you can pretty much write that shit in stone. The soul trap is real. This planet is a prison. The prison planet is real. And our whole raison d'etre, our reason for existence, is to figure it out and escape, and try to pull as many humans out as we can with us. Yeah, some souls purposefully come to the planet for that reason, to try to enlighten humanity, to try to pull out as many souls as possible. It's like purposefully going into a supermax prison to try to help bust out a bunch of prisoners, basically. And sometimes you got the wardens and their fucking guards behind the scenes. They know that the prison's been infiltrated. So you got these demonic spirits working behind the scenes to try to fucking prevent people from realizing their purpose in life, keeping them fucking down. That's why a lot of people experience a lot of hardship that should be achieving some sort of higher purpose in life. Like, no, they're too busy caught up in samsara, going to their job, making money, suffering, fucking just filling their fucking coffers with that precious energy. Loosh, they call it. A loosh farm. Yeah, it's like humans with a farm with cattle, but instead it's a human farm. That's what it is. Like a chicken coop, but for humans, a human coop. And the whole key around it is death. Once you die, they have that white light, and it's all part of the moon matrix. They have this fucking rod on the moon that's constantly emitting a frequency that keeps our frequency at a certain vibrational level, so we're always operating in a low vibration. This is why there's people always act a certain way, because they can't reach those higher vibrational states because the moon is acting as a suppressor. And then you see that white light, and when you die, you go into the white light. But that's a part of the whole trap. As soon as you go into the white light, you're met with your dead relatives, grandma and and your aunts and your dead grandpa or father, or whatever. And there's a council of angels there, and sometimes you see Jesus. And then you have the life review, and like, oh well, if only you did this a little bit better, you could have been a little bit more kinder to this person. You know, when you go back around the next time, you'll get it right the next time. You're like, you know what, I will. But then what happens is they completely wipe your memories, and like, how are you supposed to remember what you're supposed to fucking do if they wipe your memories? So then you go through the whole fucking thing again, and it's all a ruse, it's all a trick. Those beings are not your fucking dead relatives. They're actually demons masquerading as your dead relatives. And it's all a fucking trick. It's all a ruse to get you to go back and be reborn as a human again, to suffer more until you finally figure it out. And it's all about awareness. Awareness is key, and not being afraid, because most of the time people are scared of death. And when it finally happens, they're scared as fuck. And they see that comforting white light and they go into it. And like that, they're put back into the soul recycling matrix. So the key is not going into that white light after death. Yeah, supposedly there was a war a long, long time ago between the good ETs and the bad ETs. And the bad ETs are the ones that won, the reptilians. The reptilians barely ever show themselves. They use proxies, things like the Greys, the Mantises, other humans. But they're the top dogs that run the shit behind the scenes. But the reptilians were nothing more than conscripts into this war, because they serve even more darker beings. I guess in Gnosticism, they're called archons. Those are the true lords that the reptilians serve, I guess. But the good ETs, they still exist, and they're still there on the periphery. So after you die, you don't go into that white light, and you kind of like, supposedly if you die at a 45-degree angle, you can escape it too, because the soul, when it shoots out of the body, like you can fucking escape, and you don't get caught up into the fucking white light, I guess. But other than that, you can kind of almost call for help, and then the good ETs will kind of dangle you a lifeline and then pull you out. And then after you get free of the moon and get out into a certain area of outer space, basically you have access to what they call the soul super highway, where you can go anywhere you want at that point. And you go be reborn on another planet that's free of any sort of demonic influence. Because I guess this isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened all over the galaxy, where you got this war between basically it's a battle of good and evil, where you got these reptilians conscripted by these beings called the archons, and they take over planets, and then they turn them into these prison matrices for capturing souls and harvesting the spiritual energies. And they're constantly at war with a group of good ETs that are all about free will. So it's about a group that wants to enslave and a group that wants free will. And we're under the control of the group that wants to enslave. But in order to escape all that, it's all about awareness, understanding what it all is, and choosing not to go through it again and to escape. Yeah, apparently yeah. Like I said, every fucking remote viewer group, they all come away with the same fucking shit. The prison planet. And the ultimate goal is to escape it. But there are some beings, like these cosmic bodhisattvas, that actually willingly choose to come to try to help people and help enlighten them that way. It's like I said, that prison analogy, willingly choosing to go inside the prison to help bust out as many people as possible. Otherwise, people will stay blind to it forever, and they'll go through the cycle thousands of times. And apparently every time you go through it, it takes a little bit more of you each time. And if you go through it enough, at the very end, you're basically nothing more than a husk, little more than a ghost. There's barely anything there. You basically end up like somebody from India. You're just fucking like a human animal, just shitting in the streets, raping. And all of a sudden you get imported into a third world country. Look at me, I'm in Ottawa now. Yeah, we've ranted and raved quite a bit. You know what? I think we're going to end the show. I think we're going to end it right around that hour, 20-minute mark. It's a good mark to end it on. And like we always do here at the Big Daddy Show, we end it with a song. And I think an appropriate song to end it with, I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, sword and pistol by my side. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. It's been a fun one. I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. Bastards hung me in the spring of 25, but I'm still alive. I was a sailor, I was born upon the tide. With the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner around the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft and furled the mainsail in a row. And when the yards broke up, they said that I got killed. But I'm living still. I was a dam builder across the river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide. A place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound. But I'm still around. I'll always be around and around and around and around and around. I'll fly a starship across the universe wide, and when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again, or I may be a simple drop of rain, but I will remain. I'll be back again and again and again and again and again. Again. I was a highwayman. On the coach roads I did ride. But I was never a highwayman. I was a highwayman.